what I wanted to talk to you about, so obviously we have just had our first set of GCSE results since 2019, and we were absolutely, as a trust, blown away by the results that we got. And it wasn't, for those of you that don't know me, I'm also an assistant head at one of the Exeter schools, Westex School, who is part of the trust. So I have two hats, my director hat and my assistant head of maths hat. And so when we got the results, we were all all the heads of maths were all texting each other going like, come on, what have you got? What have you got? What have you got? And obviously, we were all very invested in the futures of our children in Exeter. And maths has always been historically, very tricky, as you guys know, and all the work that you put in. So what I wanted to go through just quickly with you is a few statistics that we've got. Some of it I can't share. So for instance, progress scores, which is what we use as a measure, we can't share at the moment because they're not validated and they're compared to the 2019 and they're all over the place. So we won't be able to share any of that until October. And as soon as I've got the green light from John about sharing it, I promise I will. But at the moment, we can't do that. But what we can look at is the attainment figures. So what we've got here is all the TEDRAG schools and their attainment from basically those students that achieved a grade 5 or better. And the red line across here is the national average. So then if you start looking at the original sort of what we call the original Sparx schools, so you've got Cranbrook, St James and Westex. So they were the original schools that had Sparx homework and also Sparx classroom. And this is the first cohort that we've had where they've had Sparx homework for the full 5 years. And I think that St James have had classroom for 5 years. I think Cranbrook have as well. And I think our year 11's had it for 4. So they're like a fully Sparx cohort. Now, when you start to look at the results, actually, they're incredible. Like the Westex ones, we got 70% of our students got a grade 5 or above in maths. And we also got 10% grade 9 and above, which is incredible when you think that the national average grade 9 is 2%. So we got 18 grade 9s. Jason over at St James was really miffed because until he spoke to me, he was really proud of his 11 grade 9s. So we are talking a significant amount of grade 9s coming to Devon, which is notoriously an area where you don't see these kind of results. So I obviously have Sparx is very close to my heart, and I have a vested interest in the impact of Sparx across the schools. And I firmly believe that the majority of this is I have excellent teachers, I have all these things, but they have Sparx, and that constant retrieval that they have from doing their homework and the classroom product, I think you're starting to see that in the results. So although Cranbrook's is below the national average, what I will say is the Cranbrook cohort was 52% disadvantaged students. So we're talking about 51% of Cranbrook getting grade 5 and above, but their cohort is very different to the cohort of the other schools. So that's absolutely incredible, like when you think about it. Then when you start to look at the sort of later adopters of Sparx, so you've got St Luke's, you've got All Saints down in Plymouth, and you've got MAP in Plymouth. Yes, these rates are still low, but actually if you look at All Saints, they've doubled their grade 5s since the last set of results. And I've worked closely with All Saints over the last year, and they have really fought to get those high expectations with their students, and you can see that from their hand-in rates. Now they are significantly high proportion of DS for All Saints and MAP. We're talking around the 70%. And when you're looking at hand-in rates that All Saints are getting of sort of 90% plus, that is amazing. It's all very well and good for me to brag that Westex is getting 97%. Well, we have a really truly comprehensive cohort. We have a lot of middle class kids who get that support. But when you're talking about doubling the amount of grade 5s you're getting in these really deprived areas, that is absolutely phenomenal. So then when you start to look at the grade 4 and above, now grade 4, that is what, for those of you who may not be aware, that's the national benchmark. That's what they need to get into college for the majority of their courses. It's their standard pass. So these are the ones that sort of not only change the life chances, but also change the life expectancy of these students. Now, our deputy head stood in front of us a year ago and said, if you get a grade 4 in English and maths, there is research to show that not only does it increase your life chances, it increases your life expectancy. So just those two metrics, doesn't matter about all the other subjects. You can have 8 subjects above a grade 4, but if you don't have those two, then there's an impact. And I didn't know that at all. I was really shocked when I heard that. So then when you start looking at these grade 4s, like we're talking like 84% of students at West-Ex got a grade 4 in English and in maths, in maths and also in English as well. So they got both of them. But if you start to look again at our schools, our early adopters of Sparx, you've got Cranbrook, 73%, St James, 83%, you've got West-Ex, 84%. That's unbelievable. And then when you start to look at the later adopters, like St Luke's, and again, All Saints, you look at the jump with All Saints. Now, we really heavily used Sparx and Sparx Classroom in All Saints, and they used it every single lesson. And we had, as I said, those really high expectations. So we're talking about, you know, really deprived areas of Plymouth getting these results. Like, this is absolutely incredible. We're like changing the life chances of these children. And I truly believe that we would not have the results that we have if it wasn't for the products that we are using with the students.